Welcome to Corporate Bhagavad Gita. The praise on my screen. You can repeat with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuktapadagam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधुदीन बंधुजलपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome to Corporate Bhagavad Gita. We were discussing about sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and we are taking discussing from the summary studies written by Shripad Yamunacharya called Gitartha Sangraha. So Shripad Yamunacharya was a South Indian Sri Vaishnava Acharya, a guru, almost 1,000 years back, and he is the spiritual master, the guru of Shripad Ramanujarya, the famous Acharya from the Sri Sampradaya. So he wrote 32 verses on Bhagavad Gita, summarizing the whole Bhagavad Gita, and we are discussing from that set of verses, and we are discussing the sixth chapter. We have completed 5 chapters, and today we will complete the sixth chapter. So let's get to the sixth chapter. So here is the verse which summarizes the sixth chapter. It says, Yoga Abhyasa Savidihi Yogi Chaturda Yoga Sadhanam Yogi Siddhi Swag Yogasya Paramyam Shashte Uchyate. Shashte means sixth chapter, in where Krishna is speaking about Yoga Abhyasa Savidihi. So Yoga Abhyas is the yoga that is explained in the sixth chapter is Dhyan Yoga, where one sits and meditates. He keeps his eyes half closed, half open, focuses on the tip of his nose, and then he chants Om, the Omkara, and he tries to meditate. Okay, and then slowly he meditates first on the nature of the Atma. The Atma is eternal. Then he understands that the other living entities also are Atma only. Just like I am also Atma within a body, everyone else is also Atma within their bodies. That is the first realization he goes. He understands that he is Atma within a body, which is a biomechanical body, and everyone else, all the living entities, are also Atma in their own bodies. Okay, so that is the first realization he gets, and then then he understands that there is Paramatma also within the body. There is a super soul also, and we both have similar qualities, similar spiritual qualities we have. And then in the advanced stage, he is able to maintain this particular type of samatvam, to look everyone with equal vision of Atma and then Paramatma and the nature of the soul. He does it throughout the day. And the highest and in the more advanced stage, he is able to tolerate sukha and dukkha. meaning the joys and the failures and the distresses that come in one's life, where one can get disturbed. So just like we are not disturbed by happiness and distress of other people, when other people are undergoing some happiness or some distress, if they are not related to us, some stranger, we have no concern, right? We have very little concern or zero concern. If there is a neighbor in the like you may be living in an apartment, and a neighbor of yours on the 10th floor um, had a child, and you have never met that neighbor. So now your neighbor is in happiness because child birth has taken place, but you are completely unconcerned of that happiness. Similarly, there are distresses happening in people's life, and we have nothing to do with it, right? And we are not concerned also, because they are unrelated. The highest yogi comes to a point where, as he is unconcerned with the pleasures of and happiness and the distress of others, same way he's unconcerned of one's own pleasure and distress. So even in his life, whenever pleasure comes, happiness comes, or some distress comes, or some sadness comes, he's completely aloof from it. He's not disturbed from it. That is the topmost yogi in this dhyan yoga. Okay. So first is the abhyas. What is how to do this dhyana? Then this chaturtha yogi. What are the four levels of ashtanga yogi, which I just talked about? Then there is yoga sadhanam. Now this is definitely difficult yoga to do. Any yoga you may pick up: karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga. It is difficult. Okay. So Krishna says you can do it by abhyasa and vairagya. Abhyasa means practice, vairagya means detachment. When you do it with this thing, then it is possible, then success is possible. Okay, then yoga siddhi. Okay, when you do this dhyan yoga, what do you achieve? What kind of siddhis you achieve? What happens in future? Whether if you fail, succeed, what happens? And then at the end he talks about the topmost yogi. Okay, there is dhyan yoga, there is karma yoga, there is gyan yogi, and then there is bhakti yogi also. Among them, what whom Krishna thinks as topmost yogi. So all these 5 points are explained in the 6th chapter. Okay. So if there are any questions, comments, you can always interrupt me, unmute and speak. So we were at this particular verse 36 we had completed, and 37 we were going. So so Krishna, in the previous verse, he said that by practice and detachment you can achieve success. Yeah. So practice, he specified certain practice, that is to keep thinking about the nature of Atma. It's not bound by karma, it is eternal, it doesn't dry, it doesn't moist, it never dies. That kind of practice of thinking we need. And in Vairagya, we need to meditate on the dosha of the material world. Meaning there are some problems in this material world which everyone faces. What is it? It is temporary. Some things we get is temporary. We get at a certain time, we lose the same thing at a certain time. Okay? At the time of death, everything is lost. Or everything remains in this world and we just go to the next world. Right? So Vairagya, this helps in detachment. Next, anything we try to obtain, it is very difficult to obtain. We have to work hard for it. And when after we obtain, that same thing will give us pain also. Many of us are doing job. When we were freshers out from our engineering or college, we were looking for job, and it was very difficult to obtain. After a few months, we got a job. Then while doing a job also, we are having stress in it. It is painful, isn't it? So that is the nature of this material world. So these two things, Abhyasa and Vairagya, helps us to focus, refocus, and make our mind to determine ourselves to perform the yoga. Okay. And when we perform the yoga, we succeed in it, we get moksha, that is liberation from this material world, and we go to the Vaikuntha planets where there is eternal life. Okay, there is nothing temporary over there. Anything to obtain is also very easy. After obtaining, it doesn't give us pain. It is Vaikuntha. Kuntha means distress, and Vai means not there. So it is a place where Vaikuntha, where there is no Kuntha, where there is no distress. And material world is full of distress. Ashashvatam dukkhalayam. Okay, so let's get here to verse number 37. Arjuna Uvacha. आयाति श्रद्धयोपेतो योगश्चालित मनसः अप्राप्य योग संसिद्धिं काम गतिं कृष्ण गच्छति. Oh Krishna, now definitely this process of yoga is difficult, so there can be failures, right? There can be failures. That's the exact question Arjuna is asking Krishna. What happens to a failed yogi? What is the destination of unsuccessful transcendentalist, who in the beginning they take up the process of self-realization with faith, but later desist due to world mindliness? It is difficult because there are some desires in us and they may push us away. Then he doesn't achieve perfection in this mysticism. In this spiritual path, he doesn't achieve yoga siddhim, some siddhim. He doesn't achieve yoga some siddhim. I will take the second verse also. We discussed this last time, but again we will just for recap. Next verse he says, Kachin nobati vibhatamas chinna brahmam eva nashati apratishto mahabaho vimuda brahmana pati. Oh mighty and Arjuna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in a sphere? So he gave up material things to achieve spirituality, but he didn't achieve full spiritual success. So he neither got material success, he neither got spiritual success. He has no position only. What is the then happens to such a person? Krishna, you can tell. Next verse is Krishna, you can tell. So what happens to unsuccessful yogi? Does he go to heaven or hell, or where? To go to heaven, if one is doing some karma kanda yajna, one has to do sankalpa of going to heaven. Consciously do that yajna thinking that I have to go to heaven. But what happens to a karma yogi or a dhyan yogi? They are not thinking about heaven because they want to please Vishnu. So they are not thinking about heaven. So Arjuna is thinking that yogi doesn't think about heaven while doing his yoga process. So definitely he won't go to heaven. Now, in the Vedas it is said that if you start a yajna and if you don't complete it, then you'll go to hell. So now yogi has been unsuccessful. Does he also go to hell? Or is there some other destination? Okay. Now, this verse, 40th verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Now Krishna starts speaking. Okay, he says he hears, okay, unsuccessful yogi. Now what will happen? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Partha naiveva namutra vinashas tasya vidyate na amruta. Sorry, na amruta it is. Namruta. Namruta. Okay, na amruta. Vinashas tasya vidyate na hi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tatha tata gachati. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Pritha, Pritha is the name of mother of Arjuna. Who is the mother of Arjuna? What is her name?
Kunti.
Yes. So Kunti has another name called as Pritha. So son of, so somewhere he says Kaunteya. Here he is saying Pritha. So he is expressing love. So Krishna is lovingly telling Arjuna, my dear son of my aunt. Oh, my dear son of my friend or my aunt's, my dear's aunt's son, like that is said. A transcendently engaged in auspicious activity does not meet with destruction in this world or in the spiritual world. For one who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. Kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim gachati. Na. So sorry, it starts with na. Na hi kalyanakrit kaschit durgatim. For who does kalyan, there is no durgatim. So this is the assurance giving verse. He won't fail. Okay, unsuccessful yogi won't be lost. Then what will happen? Okay, next verse. Prapya punya kritam lokan usitva shashvata samaha suchinam shrimatam dehe yoga vrishto abhijayate. Yoga abrishto. Brashta. Yoga brashta. What happened is he fell down from the path of yoga. So there are two kinds who fell down. One is they just started, they were still neophyte, and one is they did yoga for a very long time. Both can fall down, right? Both can brush up. Both can become both can be unsuccessful. So now who just started, what happens to that person? Prapya punya kritam lokan. This is translated as Swargaloka. So he goes to heaven. So now Arjuna's doubt was he never thought of going to heaven. But Krishna is saying, no, he goes to heaven. That is on the power of the yoga. The yogic process is very powerful. Even if one is not doing it for heaven or some other purpose, that heavenly result will be there. It is guaranteed. Usitva shashvata samaha. Okay, how long will he stay there? How long? So generally it is said that those who go to heaven, they remain there till their punya is there. Once the punya becomes zero, then they come down. But for a yogi, this statement is not applied. Why? Because shashvata. Shashvata means, here it is translated as many. It also means continuously, never breaking, almost eternally. Meaning the yogi, he can remain there forever. Shashvata. Forever he can remain there. Suchinam Srimatam Dehe Yoga Bhrishtab Abhijayate. He can remain there, and once he thinks he needs that place is not good place now, enough of this heaven, you know, enough of this, too much of enjoyment, it's actually not giving me so much internal pleasure, then he comes to this material world. So it is not dependent on some punya, that when punya becomes zero here he falls. No, he can remain there forever actually. But because he is on the path of yoga, he has some higher experience, and that higher experience keeps telling him that this pleasure in this heavenly planet is not that great. Then he thinks, okay, I need to go back on the path of yoga. That is the time he comes back. Where does he comes back? Suchinam Srimatam Gehe. In the family of, pious families who know Atma Gyan. And there he gets many good qualities. So he comes to this kind of family. where he gets good qualities also, and he gets a family where everyone is having Atma Gyan, meaning they are already on the path of yoga. They are already on the path of yoga. There he comes and there he restarts from where he had left. Okay. So now this is the case for one who has started little bit of yoga and he was incomplete, unsuccessful. But what happens to him who has done yoga for a long time but has not achieved success? This is the next verse talks about that. अथवा योगिनाम एव कुले भवति धीमताम एतादि दुर्लभताराम लोके जन्म यद idrisam. So one who has done yoga practice for a long time but he's unsuccessful. He takes birth in the family of transcendentalists who are surely great in vision. Such a birth is rare in this world. So there, so in the previous one he gets in a family of Atma Gyan and very rich family also. But here he gets a family where um, esteemed and knowledgeable scholars and practitioners of yoga. Means here the family is like great in knowledge also and practice of yoga. Okay, they are perfected actually. In such a case, that is a very rare birth. You come in this world and in the association of the family members, just practice the remaining part of the yoga and then go back home, back to God. In the in second chapter 40th verse also similar thing is said. In this endeavor there is no loss or diminution. Neha Neha there's a verse there. Neha Bakramustana Sosti Swalpa Swalpasya. Okay, let's go to the verse. Neha Abrikama नेहाब्रिकम नाष्टोस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पम little bit also swalpam. Where is it? Swalpam little. Oh, okay, swalpam little. अस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. Even a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So, little advancement is also enough, to protect. तत्र तम बुद्धि संयोगम लभते पौर्व देहिकम यतते च ततो भूयः संसिद्धो कुरु नंदन. तत्र तम बुद्धि संयोगम लभते पौरव देहिकम. So whatever yoga he has done paurava previously in previous body, it comes back to him in his next life. Buddhi samyogam comes back to him. Yatate tad yato bhuyah. Then he starts from where he has left and quickly achieves success. On taking such a birth, he revives divine consciousness of his previous life and it again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. O son of Kuru. Okay. So he carries his past yoga experience in his next life and starts from where he has left. So, in the yoga process, there is no loss. He is made to remember what he did in his previous life, how much he did. All that thing comes to him back again. Now, in this particular life, we are learning so many subjects: English, Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Kannada, physics, chemistry, mathematics, finance, history, social, In our next life also, we may study the same number of subjects. If we were PhD in previous life, still we have to study from A, B, C, D, right? But that is not the case with yoga. In yoga, what happens is you start from where you have left. You take any yoga, it happens like that. That's why we see some people, they are able to take yogic process very quickly, as if they knew this in their previous life. So Krishna says this thing happens with those who have practiced a lot of yoga, and even those who have practiced a little also. They start from where they have left. पूर्व अभ्यासेन तैनेव रियते हि अविशोऽपि स जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्द ब्रह्म अतिवर्तते. शब्द ब्रह्म अतिवर्तते. So पूर्व अभ्यास तैनेव. So previous life he did some abhyas. He did some yoga abhyas. That will come to his help. Let's see, he didn't do any abhyas, but he was only jignasur. Jignasur means he was just interested. I'm just curious. I'm curious to know about this yoga. And he never practiced yoga. He was just curious. Even such a person is benefited, who is little bit curious also. Okay, zero practice but curious. Such person will also get benefited. By virtue of divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically attracted to the yogi principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands above, always above the ritualistic principles of scriptures. So, previous practice always pulls us back into yoga automatically. And let's say one didn't even practice yoga, but he was very interested to know what is this yoga. What is karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga? He was just interested. Even such a person also is benefited in his next life. प्रयत्नात् यथा मनश्चतु योगी संशुद्धो किल्बिषिः अनेक जन्म संसिद्धिस् ततो याति पराम गतिम्. When a yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making progress, being washed of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many births of practice, he attains supreme goal. So point is, it's a gradual process. It takes many lifetimes. Okay, many lifetimes it takes. Krishna also says it takes aneka janma, samsiddhas, aneka janma, lot of many births. So one perfects yoga system in many births actually. So when we are preaching the yoga system to others, bhakti yoga, gyan yoga, bhakti yoga we generally preach. Some people may show some interest, but out of that only one or two may actually practice it. So sometimes preachers, they get very upset. I told so many people, but only one or two came up. Well, he should understand that so many got interested and they were interested in all that. That will surely help them in their next life. Even if small interest is there, it will help them. Any question at this point? Any question or comment you want to ask?
Prabhuji, that interest also because of previous karma, it is will be there, or previous karma it will be there, or how it is?
Okay, you can say like that. That sometimes some people just may show 1% interest, and some people may show 90% interest, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that.
interest is one thing, and doing practice is another thing.
Yeah. And within interest also, they may be half interested or full interested. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
But the process of yoga is such that it is so powerful that whether you're small interest or you have big interest, you will definitely get benefit out of it. Okay, in this lifetime, if you don't pursue that interest, next lifetime you will definitely pursue. Okay.
Okay, brother.
Yeah. So the point is, like, Arjuna started saying that those practiced for some time, then there are those who practice for longer time. Krishna says both are benefited. Not just even practice, even somebody who jigyasu, little bit of interest he has, that person will also be benefited. This is how Krishna is explained. Now you get it? Yeah.
Yes, brother.
Yeah. So sometimes, while book distribution we tell, na, even if he reads one line, his life will be perfect. Even if he holds the book, his life will be perfect. Have you heard these statements?
Yes, brother. Yes.
Yeah. So this is what it means. So Krishna is very, um, what to say, is very open, inviting. He's not like a very strict person who says only if you do, then only I'll give you. No. Even if he shows little interest, I'll take you. There are many pastimes like that. Like, once in a temple, suddenly a rat appears. A rat or a mouse appears from its hole, and it looks at the fire and it thinks that the fire, it may have something. So it goes there, it drinks the oil. While doing that, the fire catches him and he jumps up and down and dies. The Supreme Lord thinks that he has now come to me and is offering the lamp. Therefore, I will make him give him a human life, make him devotee, and take him back to God. Did the rat really show that kind of interest? No. His interest was something completely different, but the Lord is independent of that. The Lord may think that he is interested now. Okay? The Lord may think he is interested. Even that is allowed. Some may have genuine interest, and one may have some, false interest. Sometimes, some people may say, yeah, yeah, I'll see, I'll come to the stall, and I'll come back. Even that small interest is very interesting to the Lord. Okay. Does that help? Okay. Okay. Any more question? Any more question? A comment? Okay. So now Krishna says, tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi, ज्ञानिभ्यो अपि मतो अधिकः, कर्मिभ्यश्चाधिको yogi, tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. Such a yogi who is doing karma yoga plus dhyan yoga, atma sakshatkar, atma gyan, undisturbed, having samatvam, undisturbed by failures, undisturbed by success. He is greater than tapasvi. He is greater than jnani. He is greater than karmi. Among all this is such a kind of yogi who is doing karma yoga, dhyan yoga, atma sakshatkar, connecting to me in with Paramatma as Paramatma. He is greater than all these three things. Tapasvi, Jnani, Karmi. A yogi is greater than ascetic, greater than empirist, greater than fruitive worker. Therefore, Arjuna, in all circumstances, be your yogi. Arjuna, therefore, become a yogi. Now, the last verse. योगिनाम अपि सर्वेषां मद गतेंतरण आत्मना श्रद्धावान भजते यो माम स मे युक्त तमो बतः. Yoginam अपि सर्वेनाम. Now above yogis I explained. Among that also there is one topmost. Who? Mad gatentara atmana. Shraddhavan bhajate yoga. He is a bhakti yogi. Bhakti yogi is even, it's even his top among, even his superior among the top dhyan yogi. The bhakti yogi is superior to this dhyan yogi also. Of all the yogis, the one with great faith and always abides in him, thinks of me in himself, within himself, and renders transcendent loving service unto me. He's most likely intimated unitedly with me in yoga and in highest of all, and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So Krishna is saying the bhakti yogi is even higher than karma yogi, jnana yogi, jnana yogi. You know, all kind of yogis are there. He's greater than that also, bhakti yogi. And that's how he ends this chapter. Now, any question? Any question at this point? Okay. So we have completed 6th chapter. We will just recap summary of Gita and the summary of first 6 chapter. Even those verses also written. So this is summary of Gita. So whole Gita is summarized. Very interesting. Gita is 700 shlokas. Even 700 shlokas is summarized. स्वधर्म ज्ञान वैराग्य साध्य भक्तेक गोचर नारायण परम ब्रह्मा गीता शास्त्र समीरित. Gita Shastra was spoken by Narayana Parabrahma, that Supreme Lord Sri Narayan, and for what purpose? Swadharma. Swadharma is performing one's own dharma, one's own duties. Jnana Vairagya Sadhya Bhakti Ochara. Ultimately, it's for bhakti through the help of Jnana Vairagya. Through the help of uh, knowledge and detachment. So, and ultimately it's Bhakteka Gocharaha. The Supreme Lord is obtained by bhakti. And bhakti comes from Jnana Vairagya. So, whatever karma yoga that we are performing according to our Swadharma, we develop some Jnana in it, Vairagya in it. That whole package is ultimately meant for what? Bhakti. Bhakti Eka Gochara. And what is bhakti meant to do? Narayana Param Brahma. To achieve Narayan. Bhakti is meant to achieve Narayan. So this is the whole gist of Bhagavad Gita. Now, gist of chapters 1 to 6. Now we completed 6. We'll again recap 1 to 6. What is told in 1 to 6? ज्ञान कर्मात्मिके निष्ठा योग लक्ष्य सुसुकृते आत्मनुभूत सिद्ध्यर्थे पूर्व षटकेन चोदिते. पूर्व षटक is hexa. So first 6 chapters, they talk about jnana karma, ultimately leading to bhakti yoga, through which we attain the Supreme Lord. Okay, that is the first 6 chapters. In the next week, we'll start from chapter 7. And Sripad Yamunacharya, he um, summarizes the next 6 chapters. He says, Madhyame, in the middle, 6 chapters. Bhagavad Tattva Yathatmaya Avapti Siddhaye Jnana Karma Abhinivrittaha Yog Bhakti Yoga Prakaritaha. In the middle 6 chapters, Avapti Siddhaye, in order to attain the knowledge of the true nature of the real entity called Bhagwan. So to understand Bhagwan, Bhakti Yoga, which is born from Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, so in the middle 6 chapters, Bhakti Yoga, which is born of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, is explained. And next week we'll start with the 7th chapter. We will just shortly read what all is there. Swa atha atmayam prakrite asya tirodihi sharanagatihi bhaktavedaha prabudasya Shraistvam Saptame Uchate. Saptame Uchate is 7th chapter. In the 7th chapter, surrender to Bhagwan is explained. Sharanagati. And 4 types of bhakta surrender to the Bhagwan. And Bhagwan's true nature is explained. Even Prakriti is also explained. Like that. So all these things are explained in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Let's open up for some question or comments. Anyone has any question or comment?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I would like to start the 7th chapter next week only. So thank you very much. Sripad Yamunacharya ki jai, Sripad Ramanacharya ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.